Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dual Threat Podcast. My name is Caden Kubler of Caden's Corner. We're joined here with Guru Griff. Griff, how's it going, my man?
Hey, it's beautiful time right now. It's the end of the year. All the days are murky right now. All the days are absolutely murky. Yesterday it was the 25th, and then it could be the 17th of January. I really don't know, but we're excited that you're here. We're going to be recapping week 17, I believe, and then we're going to get it out a video that we're going to talk about week 18 picks. It's a busy time, but we appreciate you being here. Give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe to us. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. The love and the support through the first 6 episodes has been absolutely awesome. And if you guys are commenting, man, we wish you would have started this up earlier on in the season. We'll be here for the whole next year. So if you guys are loving it, make sure you subscribe. Like Griff said. Griff, let's waste no time. Let's dive right into week 17, a very eventful weekend. There was games basically every day. And I know that we kind of started, we prefaced it like, we've got to talk about Monday Night Football because it was explosive and there were some huge storylines taking place. I'll let you kick it off right now.
Listen, Caden, Matthew Stafford pooped his pants on national television. It cost him the MVP. Drake May ran away with the MVP last night, and that might sound weird, but you can lose yourself the MVP, and that's exactly what Matthew Stafford did. Those interceptions that he threw, the pick sixes, I mean, technically, the last one wasn't a pick six because the guy stepped out of bounds, but even that one was close to being a pick six, and they lost the game, Caden. That was huge. That the MVP, it's encompassing. It's stats, it's record, it's how you do at the end of the year. It's not just don't encompass all of the stats. No. How do you agree with me, Matthew Stafford? It's just he played very, very poor last night.
He did play poor last night, but I will say I do disagree with you that it's over. I still think Stafford is the MVP. I understand it was a rough game on his part.
Over. Have you looked at the odds, Kate?
I have, and that's what I wanted to bring up. It's like, how do they switch that much? One game.
They switched live. I was watching it live. I'm a weirdo like that. I'm an absolute sick individual looking at that MVP odds when he threw the first interception because the pre-game he was about minus 225. Matthew Stafford. He threw that first interception. It dipped to like minus 185, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. You know what I mean? I didn't dive in because I'm an idiot. But then he threw the second one. The second one was a pick six. It went down to evens, and then it gets to the point where like, okay, if the Rams lose to the bum ass Falcons, that does something to your case. But I mean, yeah, the live odds were crazy, but go on.
Yeah. To your point, the live odds, I had a buddy texting me about, dude, like the odds are shifting. Like one game is really going to impact this much. And I just feel like that's like more of like a prisoner of the moment. And I understand that like we're into the nitty gritty of the season. We're in week 17, but it's like, in my opinion, I don't think you should have that much of a swing based off of one game. And it is prime time. So of course everyone's watching, and Drake May made history this week, and we're going to get into that. 5 touchdowns, 90% completion percentage, the only quarterback in the history of the National Football League to do it. But I still look at Stafford's body of work this year. He's got 8 more total touchdowns. I'm just looking at the stats right here, 250 more passing yards. And I understand that the Patriots have got the record going on, but I just look at what Stafford has done, and he's got the 6th toughest strength of schedule versus Drake May having the 32nd, which is the easiest in the National Football League. To me, if I'm a voter, if I'm on that AP committee, I'm giving it to Stafford, but I can see why people would give it to Drake.
It's definitely a coin flip. And then you get into the nitty gritty. Like you said, you look into the facts of like, okay, Rams, you're playing these good teams and beating these good teams. Then you lose to the Panthers. Then you're losing to the Falcons. And then you look at the Patriots. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Panthers. And then,
Panthers aren't good
like
anymore.
You said, hey, I'm just saying 8-8, right? 8-8. Yeah. We'll get to your boys. We'll get to your boys. But yeah, Drake May, you said he made history in the first half. Dude could have broke the single games touchdown record easily if they wanted to. I believe it's 7 is the tie. 8 is the record.
Don't quote me on that.
8
don't
total
quote me.
touchdowns. 8, yeah, don't quote me on that. I believe it's 8 because I think back in the day, Peyton Manning, he had 7. But yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting race if you go off and then you just kind of peak next week, Caden. I mean, the Patriots play the Dolphins. They're going to beat the Dolphins, and the Rams, Matthew Stafford might not even play. If you look at it, Matthew Stafford, they play the Cardinals. If that win means nothing to them and they can give him an extra week's rest, they just might sit him. So I don't know. I feel like, and then looking at the losses, back-to-back losses, I don't know. It's tough at the end of the season. Weirdly enough, losses can absolutely screw you. And you look at a team in the Patriots, they won their division. They're battling for the 1 seed. They're going to have 14 wins. I get it. They played an easy schedule. And then you look at the Rams, tough schedule, don't get me wrong, but they're not even going to win the division. They're probably not even going to get second in their division. I don't know. Yeah. It's all topsy-turvy. The MVP award is kind of fugazi because, like we said, if it was all about stats, Joe Burrow would have won it last year. Josh Allen would not have an MVP currently, but it's going to be a topsy-turvy. It's going to be interesting. I think Drake May, Matthew Stafford, I think pooped his pants last night.
Yeah, I want to say, and I should have done a better job of diving into this, but I want to say that the Niners, if they lose, that's the only way that the Rams can get the 5 seed. Do they have the tiebreaker? I'm not 100% sure, but obviously Seattle only has 3 losses, whereas LA has 5. So I don't know, like, can they still get the 5 seed, or not? Are they now just locked into the 6 seed because of this loss?
The 6, they might be locked into the
because they can't get the 7 seed, obviously, like Green Bay, and there was a lot of noise about that.
Locked into the 7 seed, and then you have the Niners. I mean, how many wins do the Rams have right now?
They got 11.
11, yeah.
So let's say they were both 12-5. If San Fran were to lose, they'd both be 12-5. I just don't know who has the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so the divisions would be
because they'd be even. They're 1-1.
The Rams would have the tiebreaker because if you look at the division games, the San Fran's 5-2 in the division, and the Rams are 6-1. But I mean, if ipso facto they would have the tiebreaker.
Who's 5-2 in the division?
5-1 or 6-1 in the division. The Rams are, and then
how is that possible? They only
my bad. Oh no, I was looking at the home games. My bad. That's on me, chat. That's on me. No, it would be because San Fran would be 4-2, and the Rams would be 4-2 if they would beat the
Cardinals.
The Cardinals. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who has that tiebreaker. I'll get into the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? I'll get into the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough regardless. But to your point, I don't even know if that's a thing. Like, could they sit him, especially with how much is riding on that game? That's going to be a big one. Let's dive into Sunday Night Football here. Two teams that were both heading into Sunday Night Football. They were both going for the 1 seed. Brock Purdy had that early pick 6, looked kind of questionable. Caleb Williams was doing his thing. This was one of the more exciting games of the year, Griff. I feel like every single week I've been going back and forth, and I've been finding a game where it's like, oh my gosh, here's the game of the year. Here's the most exciting game of the week. And 2 weeks ago, it was Seahawks and the Rams on Thursday Night Football at that Herculean comeback. And then this week it was obviously Brock Purdy against Caleb Williams. You saw the memes of the Chiefs Rams from a few years ago. Like, it was an incredible game, and Brock Purdy showed up when it mattered the most. Now that the 49ers get a death match at home against Seattle for the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. Griff, where are you at with Brock Purdy right now? Like, I just continue to believe more and more and more with what I'm seeing from him.
Caden, ever since Brock Purdy hit that Dougie, this dude's been Tom Brady. This dude's been absolutely Tom Brady. I said it last week. I said he was 2 games away. Now, Kyle Shanahan, viewer of this, 1 game away from winning Coach of the Year. Yep. Hands down, 1 win away from winning Coach of the Year. Last week, I said he was 2 games. This week, he has won. He beat Seattle with that roster. I mean, Trent Williams, he went out on the first play of the game? The best or the best offensive lineman, one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, goes out. No George Skittles in that game. I'm telling you right now, Kyle Shanahan wins against Seattle at home, gets the 1 seed, gets the division. He is hands down the Coach of the Year. But let's talk about the game. It started off very poor for Brock Purdy. After that, flamethrower. Absolutely all over the Bears flamethrower. That Bears defense was terrible. The 49ers defense was terrible. Oh my gosh, Gabe, the 49ers defense pass rush. They don't even got no pass rush. I mean, they better have me and you rushing the pass. So they have 0 pass rush. I get it. Bosa is out for the season, and Warner's not there anymore. But Brock Purdy was awesome, but Caleb Williams was awesome too. Caleb Williams had a phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal game. Thought he was going to pull it off at the end. Weird hook and lateral play call at the end. You know what I mean? Because with the time, he had no timeouts. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that guy, he tackled him in bounds. Then the last play he rolls out to the left. He just doesn't have anyone open. I hated that the NFL came out with this image of Moore on the far right side of the field was wide open. He was, I don't know if you saw that
Yeah,
image,
I did.
but he
Yeah.
was jumping up and down. He was wide open. I'm like, okay, Caleb Williams isn't looking to the right when two people on his right are pressuring him. I don't know. It was a phenomenal, great game. The 49ers are one win away from Kyle Shanahan winning coach of the year. But the Bears, they impressed me to the max offensively. Defense is still cans, but Caleb Williams, hell of a season so far. Hell of a season.
Yeah, and I said this on my show the other day. I was like, I feel like Caleb Williams is not too far away from being like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. It's like he's really that good. And this is why he was the number 1 overall pick. I love watching the guy play. But Brock, I mean, this was a guy that it's impossible to give him any sort of flowers. It feels like at this point, it's like, oh, well, he's got the great receivers. It's because of the system that he's in. And this year it's just been adversity every single week. You don't know who's going to be playing. You don't know which receivers are going to be out there. And Brock Purdy's been the guy. And I think that's been the most impressive thing. He's got 13 total touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. And Griff, we beat a dead horse with this talking about it, but we're like, you got to get hot at the right time. You've got to peak at the right time. It's hard to find a quarterback, maybe outside of Drake May, playing the position better than Brock Purdy throughout this last 3-week stretch heading into the January, Griff. And that's when you've got to be at your best. And I feel like that's what we're seeing right now from Brock Purdy. He's been an absolute flamethrower. Eagles Bills was a weird one. Was a really weird one. You mentioned the lateral play in the Niners Bears game, but we also saw a fire lateral hook and ladder play as well with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Griff, this is now the second game this year where Jalen Hurts has not completed one pass. Doesn't matter if it's a screen pass to Saquon, a quick out to Devontae Smith, a slant to AJ Brown. He hasn't completed one gimme in the second half, and they won both of them.
Insane. Absolutely insane. It just goes to show you that the Philadelphia Eagles, team-wise, coaching-wise, player-wise, I mean, from top to bottom, it's just solid. It is just absolutely solid. Right off rip, Caden, hot take, I hate rain games. I hate snow games. I'm the Grinch when it comes to those weather games, because when a game like this magnitude is on display, Eagles versus Bills, huge implications on both ends, both great teams at the end of the year. I want to see best on best. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's cold, it's cold. But the rain, you could see it in the first 3 quarters. Josh Allen couldn't activate Superman mode. I mean, Jalen Hurts in the second half couldn't complete a pass. They could not complete a pass. The halftime score was 13-0. Now, I get it. Someone might comment and be like, oh, the guru doesn't like defensive games. I do like defensive games. But when you have piss raining down, you piss rain the entire game, fumbles left and right, you never leave that game seeing like, man, that team was completely 100% better than that other team. It's like, no, if it didn't rain, we could have got that game. Now, don't get me wrong. It did come down to the last 2-point conversion, and Josh Allen didn't make the throw. Some people are like blaming Josh Allen, like, oh, Josh Allen was the sole reason why they lost. I'm not saying that he has no what's the word? He has no
fault in the matter.
Yeah, he has no fault in the matter because he's got to make that throw, but he also drove him down there. So I don't know. I don't like these Ravens games. It was a huge game. Eagles escape with the win. It was a great game to watch, though.
Yeah, it was. And there's a lot of controversy about the 2-point conversion. I understand why they went for it. I can see both sides. In my opinion, I would have gone for the extra point and continued to play, because what they had done in the fourth quarter, they had all the momentum. They had all the life. The crowd was into it. I just want to see more game, because that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to one play, just so much fluky stuff can happen. And Josh Allen's been a guy that's been one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League over the last 2 years. And to see him miss a gimme like that, it's fluky. And to your point, I hate the weather stuff too. That's the same mindset I had when I watched that Miami Texas A&M game in the college football playoff. The wind was like 40 miles an hour and nobody could complete a pass. And you're looking at a 0-0 game at halftime. I'm like, okay, like I get it. Everybody has this like weird like infatuation with weather games and stuff. And it is cool to a certain degree. Like you've got some aura there, but it's like when I'm watching a game, to your point, of that magnitude with the Eagles and Bills, 2 Super Bowl contenders, a potential Super Bowl matchup, I want to see it where it's like both of those teams can be at their best, when they can both play to what their full ability is. And I just didn't feel like I saw that from Buffalo and for Philadelphia. I don't know how they keep doing it. I genuinely don't know how they keep doing it. We are 17 weeks into the season and they are getting the flukiest stuff to happen ever. It's unbelievable, Griff.
It's crazy. I 100% agree with you on the. I wish they would have went for the 1 point conversion too. I get it. The one before just got blocked, but I mean, you're dealing with a guy like, okay, Josh Allen cooked in that fourth quarter. You get it into that overtime. The Eagles haven't moved the ball offensively, so even if you lost the toss, you had to start off with the ball. I agree with you, but I mean, oh my gosh, the weather games, the absolute weather games. Jalen Hurts, it's weird because as an Eagle, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I look at the Eagles and I'm like, dude, our defense is playing excellent right now. We are playing excellent defense right now. If we could get a full game from our offense, dude, they can go back to back.
Yeah.
They could go because the offense did look good in that first half with the rain. It's just in the second half they were like, we're up by 25 points. Who cares? And I'm like, hold up now. You're only up by 2 scores. And then now you're only up by 1 score. And then now Josh Allen's driving to win the game. That's how I feel like the Eagles offense took off the second half. Shout out that Eagles defense. Shout out that Eagles defense. It's peaking at the right time. If the offense can come alive, the Eagles can go back to back.
I just feel like we're at the point now where I just don't know if Philadelphia is ever going to be able to put it together offensively. Like, I feel like I just keep holding out hope, and I feel like I'm just like a hopeless romantic, like hoping that my girlfriend's going to walk through the door one day. And that's the same thing with Philadelphia offensively. It's like, I just hope that Jalen Hurts can figure it out one day. And realistically, Griff, I don't know it's going to happen. I don't think it is.
But I mean, you got to agree with me. If they put together a full quarters, they're going back to back.
Yeah,
I
agree with you.
They're that talented. They have that much talent on offense, but it's just like they literally go Danny Phantom. It's just out of nowhere too. It's not like they just start off being so bad. It's like, no, they do good and then they just disappear.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. It's I was genuinely stunned watching that game where I'm like, they had I think 17 total yards of offense in the second half. I'm like, well, that's the Philadelphia Eagles for you. You know, it wasn't that great of a game, but the reason we stayed awake and didn't deem it a nap game was because for some reason the NFL just keeps saying, hey, we're going to give you 2 games in the afternoon slate. One of them is going to be the Pooper Bowl and the other one's going to be the Eagles versus the Bills. Should be a banger, right? And it was just absolute cans. Anything electric from the Pooper Bowl outside of the Raiders actually won the war?
Yeah, the Raiders won the war. I was wrong. I thought the Raiders were going to win. But then, like, early on when I picked the Raiders, then all this weird stuff comes out, like Max Crosby's not going to play. Max Crosby left the building. Ashton Genty's only going to play a quarter. Then I started hearing that stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm cooked. You know what I mean? I'm absolutely cooked because the Raiders are openly tanking. The Giants are just openly tanking. The Raiders openly tank. Geno Smith did his thing, threw a bunch of interceptions. Jackson Dart played like his job was on the line, which, side note, some people were saying that Jackson Dart's job was on the line. I think that's absolute bull crap. Yeah, absolute bull crap because what are you going to go with Mendoza? Like, no, go with Jackson.
What I think what happened, sorry to cut you off. I think what happened was it wasn't Field Yates. It was oh my gosh, who's the insider for the NFL Network? I'm blanking on his name so bad right now. Not Schefter, not Field Yates. Oh my goodness.
The smaller bald guy?
No, he's not bald. He's got the hair. Oh my gosh. I'm blanking on his name. So yes, Ian Rappaport. Thank you. Sorry, Rap Sheet. He said before the game, he said that the Giants haven't, if they get the number 1 overall pick, basically every avenue is open. And so I was reading into that. I'm like, okay, you've got a trusted insider saying that. That's pretty weird. Now, on one hand, maybe I think this is what is more likely. I think it's just a smokescreen. Like, hey, the pick's not going to be as valuable if people know if we're going to trade down and we don't have to give up as much to go get Mendoza, because normally teams are going to give up their whole team to go get the number 1 overall pick. And so it's like, okay, the Giants already have their quarterback. We don't need to give as much to go trade up. So I think it's maybe like a smokescreen to get people to go up. But I don't know with where you're at with that. Sorry to interrupt you there. I just kind of had to throw that in.
No, the winner of the day was Mendoza. Mendoza was the winner of the day because the Raiders are going to draft him, and I would much rather go to the Raiders to the bum-ass Jets than the bum-ass Jets, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, because you never knew if the Giants were that number 1 pick and the Jets, they offered him a haul. You know what I mean? Mendoza's the winner. Raiders, you pooped in the Pooper Bowl. Did you see that image where like a day after it's like Max Crosby's back in the building? Like they were making like a big thing about that. And I'm like, you're just sitting him. You know what I mean? But no, the Raiders, Geno Smith, you played yourself out of the NFL, in my opinion. Mendoza, you're going to be a Raider. Giants, I believe you have the 2nd pick right now.
Yeah, they do.
Off the top of my head, I don't know who you're going to draft. Maybe you move down and then get a good wide receiver in that like 7th slot. But I don't know. The Giants, you win the Super Bowl, but the Raiders win the Super Bowl, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I two things on this. One, I was almost thinking like, man, maybe Jackson Dart is just trying to win this so that they can't get Mendoza, and he's just trying to ball out. He took a massive hit again, and I made a video about that this morning. And people are like,
that, yeah.
bro, if he's gonna be worried about taking hits, he should go play tennis. And I'm like, okay, fair point, but he's taking unnecessary hits. And John Gruden, a Hall of Fame head coach, literally said, bro, you need to stop taking hits. Like, you can't say that, he should go play tennis. Like, no, you want him to have his brain fried in 3 years and you don't have a franchise quarterback? Like, no, like that's just, it's idiotic. And then on the other hand, Fernando Mendoza, if he is going to Las Vegas, I mean, I think this is maybe like the best destination for him to go, because like Vegas is like gambling, just all this crazy stuff. And you got like Fernando Mendoza, like nice Christian dude, just like very like low key, like very like soft spoken. Like I feel like that's like a good spot for him to go so that he could just like stay focused. Cause like most quarterbacks, they're going to go to that opportunity and it might be an absolute disaster. I think Fernando Mendoza might keep that tunnel vision in Las Vegas, because that's not an easy spot to go play, as we've seen with some other players in the past.
No, I 100% agree with you. He's got to stop taking these unnecessary hits. You're in week 17. No point of taking any hits.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a quarterback in the NFL, you know how many like dirt balls I'd be throwing before I got sacked? You know how many times I would be running down and sliding before I got sacked? Because you scramble those brains. Someone might sit there and be like, oh, he has all off season to work it out. It's like, no, those keep being consistent. You have a 2-year career. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to have a 3-year career, 2-year career, go for it. But if you're a franchise and you want to build around a guy, especially a young guy, you want dude around for 12 to 15 years. That's the dream. That's the goal that you want. And if he plays in a certain way, no, I 100% agree with you. Those people are like, oh, go play tennis or non-contact sport. That's just dumb. I mean, you're right.
Logic.
If you wanted to play 1 year, then that's fine. If you want to play 1 year. But if you're a Giants fan, which I'm not, you want him for 15 years.
Yeah. You've got your franchise guy. Like in today's day and age with technology and with medicine and with doctors and stuff, these guys, assuming that you don't have an Alex Smith injury or something, you're going to play for, if you're good and Jackson Dart looks really dang good, you're going to play for 10 to 15 years with everything considered. And so it's like, your brain is something that you can't play with. That's not just something where it's like, oh, you tear your ACL and you can build it back up and it's okay, like Mahomes. No, this is your brain. Like Luke Kuechly, one of the best to ever do it. We've seen a lot of guys retire early because of it. He was 29 years old. Dart's been in the medical tent a lot this year, and he's a rookie. Get down, please, save yourself. We love watching you play, and you're going to have an opportunity to go be a playoff team next year, in my opinion, with the offensive talent you have. You need Jackson Dart to be healthy. Let's dive into the morning slate. Was kind of all over the place. First of all, maybe in the game of the morning was Seahawks Panthers in terms of the two records, the two playoffs. Both of the teams being in the playoffs, I should say. Seattle, they let Carolina hang around for a while. I have a few different takeaways from this game, and I want to hear what you have to say first, because I'm kind of all over the map. I want to hear what you think.
Seattle has done this from time to time throughout the season. If you go back and look at the Falcons game was actually exactly like the Panthers game. It was a halftime score against the Falcons, and then they just blew them out in the second half. In this first half, the offense kind of looks lackadaisical, you know what I mean? For Seattle, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, if you have an amazing defense who can get you turnovers, you could be lackadaisical from time to time. But if you're on the offensive, which I think that Seattle needs to turn that notch offensively, they need to be on the offensive. That's not even a pun intended, you know what I mean? It just feels like they're almost on offense playing defense. Run on first down, run on second down. Let's just not turn the ball over and let's punt it. And that's okay. But Sam Darnold, you have JSN, you can sling that rock. And in that first half, they were just worried about it. Now, in the second half, turnovers killed the Panthers. Absolutely killed the Panthers. The Panthers even got some turnovers, never capitalized them. And then I think 2 touchdowns in that third quarter early came off the Panthers' turnovers. And then it was just, you couldn't come back. You just absolutely couldn't come back, especially on that defense. The Seattle defense is going to carry this team to a Super Bowl. They're going to have to. They're going to have to. They can't rely on Sam Darnold. They can't say, you know what, Sam Darnold, we need 30 points. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Their offense isn't clicking right now. They need Sam Darnold to put up 21 to 24 points. That is the sweet spot for the Seattle Seahawks. That will win them most games in the playoffs because that defense is that good to hold teams under them. But yeah, the Panthers, okay, first half, the turnovers killed them in the second half.
Griff, I want to talk about the Panthers first here because
your team.
I'm sorry, 54 yards and interception as a third-year quarterback. Griff, it makes me want to pull my hair out. I mean, I'm watching Caleb Williams right now in year 2 play like a top 10 quarterback in football. Drake May, as a second-year quarterback, he's going to win the MVP more than likely. Bryce Young, we're in year 3 here, and you're the number 1 overall pick, and I'm getting a 54-yard, 1 interception performance. And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment too much, but I feel like I have this unsettling feeling at the end of every Sunday where I'm like, why? Why is this still happening? We're in year 3 now. You've got the weapons. You've got the O-line. I get it. Seattle has a good defense, but I just watched the Rams put up 36 points against them. And surely our offense isn't that bad because we beat the Rams. So it's like, what am I missing here? We've got to have some sort of disconnect, whether it's the play calling, whether it's Bryce Young. I don't know. I need answers because this is year 3. And Griff, a lot of the time what we talk about is like how you finish the season positive wise. What about how you finish the season negative wise? Because if we lose to Tampa Bay, and let's just say we don't make the playoffs and we finish 8-9, I think it's going to get really, really loud. And I think you're going to be having a lot of question marks heading into year 4. Instead of 2 weeks ago, you're looking at, hey, we beat New Orleans. We take care of Tampa Bay one more time. We just put up a fight against Seattle. We make the playoffs and boom. Bryce Young's our guy. Maybe we're competitive in the playoffs. Like that's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of uneasy about the whole situation because I don't know still. For Seattle, I just feel like there's a monster underneath my bed or in my closet with Sam Darnold, and it's like an interception to a defensive tackle or a random fumble that's going to shoot me in the foot. Like that's somewhere hiding underneath my bed or in my closet with Sam Darnold, because this looked like they were going to lose this game in the first half. And then he has that bad interception. I want to say that was early in the third quarter. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Seattle's going to lose this game. Like they might actually be screwed with Sam Darnold here. And I was nervous. And then obviously, they got that bailout fumble with Chuba Hubbard and the game went differently, but I'm not 100% on the Seattle team, Griff. I'm kind of questioning them a little bit.
It's a roller coaster offensively, but if you look at some other teams, chat, when I call you chat, it's the person viewing this video. A ton of teams are like that. If you look around the playoffs, the Denver Broncos, their offense is their defense is excellent. The Texans, their offense is their defense is excellent. Now the Seattle Seahawks have bumped into that range that their offense is and their defense is excellent. They're going to rely on their defense, but I 100% agree with you. Sam Darnold is going to be the downfall for the Seattle Seahawks if they lose these games. It's not going to be the defense. It will be Sam Darnold throwing three touchdowns, throwing 3 interceptions, bad interceptions, maybe some pick sixes. It will be it. Mark my words. If Seattle loses in the playoffs, it will be because of Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold alone.
I feel like contrary. I agree with you.
We're in the if game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm not saying that's a guarantee that they are going to lose. But if they do lose, we're going to go back and be like, Sam Darnold didn't play well the last 6 games of the season, and he got bailed out by his defense. And he just, and oh my gosh, don't even get me started about last year when they he had that great season with the Vikings, and then the last game of the season he was terrible. Then he played the Rams, was terrible. I don't know, and he might play the Rams in the divisional round. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like the thing that I'm like a little bit nervous about, Griff, where I'm like, okay, to your point, the Texans, they're kind of questionable offensively, but they've got a good defense. And then same thing with Denver. They've got a juggernaut defense, but kind of a questionable offense. But I think what's different is like those two teams, if you get anything from your offense, you're going to win the game. I don't think you're getting like the rock bottom turnovers with that team where it's like Sam Darnold can have 4 interceptions against the Rams, or he can have 2 interceptions and throw into a defensive tackle, or he can turn the ball over multiple times against the Panthers. And you're like, the defense has kind of got to make up for it. I feel like you don't get that with Denver, and you don't get that as much with Houston. Stroud's had some up and down games, but in the second half of the year, he's been a lot better. Like I think you get the rock bottom turnovers with Darnold, whereas you don't get those with Nix and Stroud in that offense. I don't know if you're in agreement with that at all.
No, it's just crazy because, like you said, you go back into these games and you look at the Rams game. I mean, he threw 4 interceptions, if I'm wrong, maybe 3 interceptions.
4.
And there were 60-yard field goal away because their defense just kept chipping away. I don't know. They're going to be the cardiac Seahawks. Seahawks fans know this. You're the cardiac Seahawks. Every game is going to be close. I mean, this upcoming game against the 49ers, that's coming down to a field goal. Guarantee it.
Yeah, and I'll leave it off on this. I think regardless, you're going to need 4 good games from Sam Darnold, whether it's this week and then 3 in the postseason, or if you don't get it this week, you're going to need 4 in the postseason. So at some point, you're going to need 4 good games from Sam Darnold to win a Super Bowl. Can you get that? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say absolutely not, because I think Sam Darnold has been a great player the last 2 years, and he's done a great job of revitalizing his career. But the only point I'm trying to make here, Griff, is like, I feel like there's a monster underneath my bed, and I've got to throw my covers over my head so that he doesn't get me. And I feel like that's what I'm viewing with Sam Darnold right now. With Drake May, I don't get that feeling. 5 touchdowns, 90% completion percentage. To your point, just killed him in the first half. Just beat him to a pulp. Right now, 42-10 against the Jets. And to your point, they've got a chance to get the 1 seed. Can they do it? Can they win it all?
Let the Drake May glaze begin. Kane, let me glaze this man up right quick. His completion percentage off the charts. If you're watching this dude every Sunday, he beams this ball into the wide receiver's hands. There's dudes draped all over him. All over the wide receivers. He puts that on the money every single time. What do you have? 5 touchdowns against the Jets? Oh, but Kura Griff, the Jets stink. Well, of course he was going to throw 5 touchdowns against the Jets. He was 13.5-point favorites. Well, okay, Bo Nix was 13.5-point favorites against the Chiefs. He didn't throw 5 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford, he was a big favorite against the Falcons. He threw 3 interceptions. Drake, whatever the hell you want to call him, glaze this man up. Second year in the league. And the reason why I think they're going to give him the MVP as well, not including all the stats, including all the glaze, including on the love, they could build this dude up. Who could they build up more, Caden? Matthew Stafford, who has 1 maybe year left in his career, or Drake May, second year in the league, following Tom Brady. Tom Brady 2.0? Tom Brady 2.0, second year in the league, possible MVP with guys like Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all these studs in the league, and Drake May comes out winning the MVP. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry for the glaze sesh, Caden. I'm sorry for the glaze sesh, but it just had to be done. Drake May and his wife is making cookies or whatever the hell those videos are.
Bakeness.
Shout out Drake May. Bakeness, whatever it is. Shout out Drake May. Win that MVP. Don't only win the MVP, win the Super Bowl, and then win the Super Bowl MVP. That would be crazy. Caden, go on.
Yeah, that would be absolutely nuts. Shout out Bakeness. There were some absolute banger recipes, it looked like. But I mean, Griff, it's just so crazy what he's doing in his second year. I think that's the thing that blows my mind the most. And it's like, okay, Joe Burrow doesn't have an MVP. Justin Herbert doesn't have an MVP. Josh Allen just won an MVP. And those guys have been in the league for 6+ years, all of them. That's at a bare minimum. This is year 2. And he's taken the league by storm. And I'm stunned. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that this Patriots team, because I think football's better when the Patriots are good, just like in basketball, when the Lakers are good, when the Celtics are good, when the Yankees are good, when the Dodgers are good. You want to see those big time markets and those big time teams be good. And I think this is great for football, regardless of if you hate the Patriots or not. I'm sorry. It's great for ball. And so I'm happy that Drake May's doing this right now. And it just goes to show you, he's getting better week by week. This is week 17, and he just broke an NFL record with 5 touchdowns, 90% completion percentage. They're absolutely rolling. Buccaneers, Dolphins. Weird game. Weird game. I thought the Buccaneers would finally figure it out and get a win in the win column, and they drop one to the dirty Dolphins with Quinn Ewers starting. He gets his first win. I believe he was drafted in the 7th round. I have more questions than ever about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now.
Chat, viewer of this video, if you're a Buccaneers fan, throw the jersey in the closet. Put the jersey, wrap it up in the closet. It's time for the season to be over, because losing to that bum-ass Miami's Dolphins team is unacceptable. Unacceptable. The Miami Dolphins are openly taking. They threw in Ewers in that game, and you need some momentum going into the playoffs, and you have what, in the last 8 games, won 1? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers downfall needs to be studied. Baker Mayfield has thrown an interception every game for the last 8 games, I feel like. Would say whatever you want. He's playing hurt. Everyone stinks over there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing. Oh my gosh. I mean, and they looked bad. It wasn't like the Dolphins just snuck out a win. Like, no, they took it to him. Baker Mayfield, what are you doing? Tampa Bay, absolutely embarrassing game. And we'll talk about the Bucks versus Panthers in the next video. But I mean, Tampa, your season is over.
Yeah, I had a lot of weird thoughts about this game as well, where I tell you how I always come to the drawing board on Sunday night. And I'm looking at Tampa Bay and I'm like, have they reached their ceiling with Baker? And I hate to say it because this is year 3 with him in Tampa, and he's gonna have a career low in completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, quarterback rating. It's a career low in all 4 of those categories. And I understand there's been a lot of turnover, a lot of injuries. You have Liam Cohen leave, obviously, to become the Jags head coach. You have Dave Canales leave to become the Panthers head coach, and you've had the injuries all year long, whether it's McMillan, whether it's Mike Evans, Chris Godwin getting hurt last year. There's been a lot of turnover, and Bucky Irving as well in that mix. But Griff, I'm like, everybody's back. The squad is back, and yet we're still getting Durburger performances from Baker. And he's got the squad back. And I don't know if he's playing injured. And I think that's what it's got to be, because I don't want this to be the ceiling that we get with Baker. But this is one of the most talented offenses in the NFL, and they look horrible. They can't score points against Miami, who lost Jalen Phillips, the trade deadline, their best defensive player. You should be eviscerating that defense, and they only put up 17 points. And I know Baker had a 300-yard passing game, but those were cupcake yards. That didn't mean anything to me.
Sure, that last touchdown Tampa got was absolute cupcake. And like you said, the week before, you know who carved up that Dolphins defense, who doesn't care? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow carved up that defense. I am. Oh my gosh! If I'm a Bucs fan, I'm sick to my stomach. Absolutely sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Where's Ibuka? Where are you? Where did he play? Okay,
he did. He did.
Oh
after the Doctor Strange celebration, he might have accidentally put himself into that portal.
He put him into the portal, and he's in the transfer portal in college. Dude thinks he's still at Ohio State. I mean, my goodness, this dude, the first 6 weeks, flamethrower. Ever since Danny Phantom, where are you? They need you.
Yeah, I mean, and hey, maybe he does go back to Ohio State, because the way I'm seeing it, you've got guys in the NBA apparently right now going and playing college basketball. So maybe we're gonna see, like, Jalen Milroe go back and play college football or something. Maybe he's got another year of eligibility. Who knows? But one of the weirder storylines in the NFL, just a complete collapse at its finest. If you look up a definition, and if you look up in a thesaurus, a dictionary, what a collapse is, you're going to see a picture of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team with sky high expectations.
Right there.
Jaguars, Colts. Jaguars get it done in the end. Phillip Rivers has started his final game in the NFL officially. They said they're going back to Riley Leonard now that they've been eliminated from playoff contention. Phillips looked good, man. Phil's looked good. He's been slinging the rock, and I've enjoyed watching him play. All the props and respect to him at 44 years old, doing what he's doing. The Jaguars, just another win that they needed to try and hopefully get that 1 seed. I don't really have too much for this one. Just kind of one of those games where it's like bad team, good team. Here's where we are.
That's exactly what it was. The Colts jumped on them early. They were up 10-0. I like watching Phillip Rivers play these last couple games. It's not like, or 3 games, because he played against Seattle. It's not like, oh, dude, he can't even throw 5 yards. Like, no, he was slinging that rock. He torched that 49ers defense. He was playing well against that Jags defense. But then the Jags just woke up. Trevor Lawrence is playing outside of his mind right now. Shout out Trevor Lawrence, playing what they paid you for. But yeah, it was one of those games where the good team beats the bad team. Now the Jags are 1 win away from winning their division. The Colts, injuries have just destroyed your season. I mean, on week 9, they're the number 1 seed in the AFC. Injuries just absolutely decimated you. Come back stronger next year, Colts. But the Jags, they're 1 win away from winning the division.
Crazy stat I saw on Instagram. Sauce Gardner was 1 for 6 with the Jets. Comes over to the Colts. Dude's 1 for 7. He alone could get the number 1 overall pick. I mean, just a brutal switch up for Sauce. And obviously, whenever you got to go on Twitter and defend yourself with how good of a football player you are, it's getting loud, and some people are getting through the skin. Saints Titans was kind of a mock pooper bowl. Titans jumped out on them early. I believe they were up like 10-0 early on, or 13-0 early on. And Chuck and the boys said, hey, this we're still playing for a lot here. And I genuinely believe they are. I mean, they've been winning games. Griff, it makes you wonder if they win this game, let's just say this upcoming weekend, they'd be 8-9. And hey, Carolina loses, they're 8-9, Bucks 8-9. Like, I'm not even saying you needed Chuck from the very beginning, but if you gave him 2-3 extra weeks, are the Saints a playoff team? Like this is kind of a crazy second half turnaround, and they're going to be going into the offseason with some crazy momentum.
It's kind of like the Panthers were last year. Remember, what's his name got benched the first 3 weeks, and
Bryce
then the
Young.
next, Bryce Young got benched the first 3 weeks. Then the next 8, the Red Rifle played, and then Bryce Young played the remainder of the year, and they won out. That they try to deliver that momentum into this season. Tyler Shue's doing the same thing. Tyler Shue's doing the exact same thing. They could have folded in this game. They could have folded in this game, but they got their guy for the future. I'm not sitting here saying sign the dude for a $70 million contract, 5 years. But I'm saying is at least you're not drafting a quarterback. You are Saints fans. You are not drafting a quarterback in next year's draft. And if you do, that's malpractice. If you do, that's absolute bullcrap. But Tyler Shue comes back. I'm telling you right now, Caden, Tyler Shue wins. I think they play the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
They went offensive rookie of the year, sneak offensive rookie of the year. If you look at the odds right now, I think he's behind Tet. He's behind Tet. But if he won that, John, I would not be shocked.
Griff, the fact that you forgot Bryce Young's name shows that we're in trouble. Shows that we're in big trouble. Shows that we're in big trouble. If the Guru Griff, and I know it was obviously just a little slip up there, but still, you're not slipping up with great quarterbacks. And I'm sorry, that's all I needed to hear right there. Tyler Shuck is more memorable than Bryce Young. Steelers Browns was a hilarious game. I actually picked Cleveland to win outright, if you remember.
You did.
On the last one, I said this is a weird one. I said I want to see some pandemonium. She told me bust down my AP perfect timing. And that's what we saw. That one moonball to Harold Fannin that was hilarious. I was like, are we playing 3 flags up out there when he threw that one? It's like when you're playing with your boys and you throw it up as high as you can. That was like what it reminded me of. The fact that he came down with it and didn't get touched and got back up, had the presence of mind to get in the end zone was pretty funny. Aaron Rodgers, this offense, they were just on the struggle bus. They've been bad all year long offensively. And when you take away a guy you're paying $150 million to in DK Metcalf, you're looking at a bad recipe. And it comes down to one game. And I think they might be playing Snoop Huntley. And they're still, I think, a 3.5 point dog right now. What'd you see in this one?
It all comes down to next week, or this week, technically, against the Ravens. Let's talk about this Steelers game versus the Browns. You blew it, Steelers. You absolutely blew it. The Browns, they stink. What, they scored 13 points? 13 points.
Yeah.
Tell a Steelers fan before that game, listen, all you got to do is score more. 14 points. You score 14 points in that game, you win the division, and you're a playoff team. And now you go back and you're like, oh, okay, we smoked that game. And then if we lose next week this week against the Ravens at home, I'm telling you right now, if they lose next week, I'm going back and saying, DK Metcalf, you're the reason why we lost this season. You're the reason why we lost, because we needed you against the Browns. You played against the Browns. They were right there. They needed DK Metcalf. Go back and look at the game. They needed a wide receiver like DK Metcalf. It was 13-6. They needed him in that game.
Not only that, Griff. It was 10-6. They had the late turnover on downs because they were forced to go for it. So you can basically take away those 3 points right there. But yeah, I mean, it's basically 10-6. Boswell missed a field goal. You need 1 point. I think DK Metcalf can give you 1 point. He equates for 1 point.
For sure. I'm telling you right now, they lose next week against the Ravens. I'm going to go back and say, DK Metcalf, if you would have just had some self-control and not walked 20 yards over and whooped the dude's ass, which, I mean, if you deserve it or not, you would be in the playoffs. You would be in the playoffs. You got to have some self-control, DK Metcalf. Now, I will say, Myles Garrett didn't get that sack. He is on 1,000% the hot seat. If he doesn't get the sack, disaster of a season. Oh, but Griff, 22 sacks is amazing season. You're right. But 5 weeks ago, when you're sitting at 19 or 18, when it was a foregone conclusion, I looked at the odds, minus 1,000, Caden, for him to break the sack record. Minus 1,000 a week ago. Wow. Or not a week ago, like a month ago, he was minus 1,000. Because like I said, he was at 18. He was getting 5 a game. This is going to be a disappointing season for Myles Garrett if he does not break this single season sack record. We'll talk about that, or I'm going to talk about that more in the Week 18 breakdown versus the Bengals versus the Browns. But I mean, he didn't get that sack. And I mean, the Steelers, maybe they just were worried to not let Myles Garrett get that sack record.
And it may cost him the game.
It might have cost him the game. But I think DK Metcalf, that a huge factor.
But we're still on sack watch, it's safe to say.
We are. Now, okay. But it's flaming sack watch now. It used to be like, okay, we're just on regular sack watch. Now it's like, dude, you've got to get this.
It's on hot seat sack watch.
It's cranked up to a 10.
They're heating up like your car heaters. Like your seat heaters in your car, I should say. Bengals, Cardinals, Joe Burrow. I was thinking about this as well. I feel like I've said this after every game. I'm like, what if? What if the Joe Burrow didn't get injured? They finally started hot this year. And he's looked really good for the most part. They go into Baltimore, have that huge win, and they should have beat Buffalo in Buffalo if they didn't have that crazy collapse. And I'm just like, what if? Like everything was for the taking for this Cincinnati team, and the fact that Burrow had that injury is just so disgusting, terrible. And they're winning pointless games right now. I guess maybe trying to save some jobs, trying to go out with a smile on their face to end the season. That's really where I'm at with this game.
Yeah, it was a dog crap game. Shout out McBride breaking the single season reception record for tight ends, I believe.
Yep.
It's going to be the most forgotten season of all time because the Cardinals are absolute booty cheeks, and you, the viewer, probably didn't even know that he did that. He broke a record. Now, don't get me wrong, they were down by $1 billion, but Jamar Chase, did you see that cheeky interview that he did not before the game? Maybe it was like a couple days ago where he's like, "Oh, I really want a touchdown." So then I saw that before. Yeah, he was like, all I want is a touchdown. So I'm like, dude, I'm gonna hammer him to score a touchdown. He was like minus 185. And I'm like, oh, I'm not touching that. You know what I mean? I was hoping to get him at like maybe plus 100, maybe it was even minus 110, because like I knew that they were going to hammer him.
Didn't he score two?
He got two touchdowns. He ended up getting 2 touchdowns. But like you said, this game meant nothing. I think the Bengals are saving some jobs right now. But I mean, they just destroyed the Cardinals. Shout out the Cardinals. They openly tanked for the last 2 months, and they're going to get a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's like some crazy like foresight, to tank for 2 months and lose 8 straight games. That's pretty impressive. But that's for teams in the future. If you want to learn how to tank, take some dang notes. Put Kyler on the IR. Let your quarterback go have some fun with some video games. More than likely, I feel like that's what we're seeing with the Cardinals right now. Saturday had some bangers. Saturday was a really good day of football. And I know we talked about this at the top of the show, but it's like, man, you got football Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, we got a lot of football this week, and I was happy about it. And Saturday delivered. We'll start with Derrick Henry's Hall of Fame Golden Jacket performance, putting the team on his back like he's Greg Jennings. Snoop Huntley out there, no problem. And Derrick Henry, I mean, this was one of the more legendary performances I've ever seen. I believe he carried the ball 36 times for over 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, is this team going to make the playoffs after this disaster of a season? What were they, 1-5? And they're going to make the playoffs. They win one game. That's all they need.
One game. That's all they need. But it is against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Ravens, they always play super good, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But let's talk about the Packers game. Shout out Malik Willis. He got injured late in this game, but I mean, it was all about the Ravens. Especially, they punched the Packers in the mouth early, and the Packers didn't respond. The Packers did not want to get physical with this Ravens team. They thought that the Ravens were just going to be pushovers. They thought, you know what? They just lost the Patriots. They're going to come to Lambeau, and we're just going to just whoop up on them. And the Ravens threw the first punch early, and the Packers never responded. Derrick Henry ran all over them. I literally look at that game, and if I was a Ravens fan, I'd be like, John Harbaugh, why the F did we not do this last week against the Patriots in the second half? Why didn't we do it? He showed you what they can do. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe the Steelers put 16 guys in the box to stop Derrick Henry this week, but I digress. The Packers, your season is cooked. Injuries have absolutely injured riddled from top to bottom. You lost multiple guys in that game. Maybe Jordan Love comes back for the playoffs. Maybe you win one game, but it stops there. You're not winning more than one game. And the reason why I think if you win one game is like somehow if you play the Bears and that game could be a close game, but if you get the Eagles draw, you're not beating the Eagles. You're not beating the Eagles, Packers. But Ravens, one game away from making the playoffs. Steelers pooped their pants against the Browns. Packers injured riddled.
Malik Willis just made himself $100 million. Like this dude is going to be this dude's going to get paid, and I'm excited for him. He deserves it. That was one of the worst quarterback draft classes maybe ever a few years ago, and it was like him, Pickett, and Levis, and for him to actually be looking really good right now is awesome, and I'm excited to see where he's going to go.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is Will Levis on a team? I was watching the Titans play this past weekend, and I'm like, oh yeah, who was the quarterback last year? Will Levis. Who the hell is that guy?
The Guangdong Tigers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know. But shout out to Malik Willis, man. A lot of people, and this is just so funny. And this is honestly like what makes me the most mad about like the NFL community. It's like, Oh, is Malik Willis better with the Packers than Jordan Love? It's like, can we just stop with this crap? Like, it's so dumb. Like this just whole like the optics and the narratives and stuff. When like Mac Jones, oh, is he better than Brock Purdy? Like, oh, he's better. It's like, come on. And Brock Purdy's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football right now. I don't think the Packers season's over. With everything considered, the defense can't be that bad. I know this is like, it seems like this is rock bottom with all the injuries when you give up this many yards. And I do think that this was kind of like okay, realistically, all we can get's the 7 seed. I don't think we're going to go make a push to get out of it. I think they were almost internally like, okay, Baltimore is going to throw the kitchen sink at us. If we win, we win. If not, like, and I know that's a bad mentality, but that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. And that's why I think they're going to rest everyone this week. They're the 7 seed and they're like, okay, we got to go win some football games. And when they play at their best, I think they're capable of going into Chicago and winning in Chicago. I think they're capable of going into Philadelphia and beating Philadelphia of how much they've struggled. Now they can't let Saquon get loose like Derek got loose, but I think with how wide open the NFC is right now and with the talent that there is in the NFC, Griff, if Jordan Love got hot, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the NFC Championship or even made it to the Super Bowl. Like, I think they have that much talent. Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, is going to get a lot of looks to be a head coach, and he's been really great this season. Tough one against Henry, tough one against the Ravens. They keep their season alive. Stroud and the Texans, though, they just keep winning. And it was the same analogy that I've given the last few weeks. It's like, do they want to lose one? Do they want to just lose one? And then all of a sudden, Griff, with Buffalo losing and the Chargers losing, because obviously the Texans beat the Chargers, they get the 5 seed. And that means they get the most desirable first round draw. If you're going to be in the wild card, you're going to get Pittsburgh or you're going to get a beat up Baltimore team. And that sounds pretty dang awesome to me if I'm the Houston Texans, knowing, hey, we get to be in this 4-5 matchup. I mean, shoot, no need to lose now. No need to get one out of the system now. Let's just go win the bowl. Let's go do this.
Go win that, John. Now let's talk about this Chargers game. CJ Stroud played like prime Tom Brady those first 4 throws. Did you see the yes. Randy Moss image thing? Yeah, it was like the first 4 throws. He threw for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. After that, though, Caden, you and I got to agree, it just went south. It just went south. And CJ Stroud and that offense is kind of like, not kind of like, but I mean, if they could put together a full game, like I said with the Eagles, offense putting together a whole game, CJ Stroud puts together a whole game, they're winning the Super Bowl, hands down, by 14 points. But they're blowing everyone out. I'm not saying of course, if CJ Stroud throws for 5,000 yards, but I'm just talking about maybe 350, 2 tubs. 350, 2 tubs, 275 yards wise, and 2 tubs wins them every single game. I kid you not, because with that defense is special. That defense is a Super Bowl defense. That defense alone can take you to the playoffs. That defense can win you playoff games if CJ Stroud just plays, like I said, 275 and two touchdowns, no interceptions. Super Bowl. Absolutely Super Bowl. Now the Chargers, I will say, I don't know how invested you were in this game. The refs were trying their hardest for the Chargers to come back in this game. Every third down, Texans got a sack, holding, defensive holding. Texans got a sack on another third down, illegal contact, first down for the Chargers. They let the Chargers back in this game, and it almost cost them because the Texans, it almost cost them. But then the Texans got a call. They got a call late in the game. Maybe it was a makeup call. Maybe they called the refs down and be like, listen, we've given the Chargers 55 calls. We need to give the Texans at least 1. But I'm all in on the Texans. The Chargers moving forward, they're going to be first round exits probably. You know what I mean? Their offensive line is injured, riddled. The defense is still solid. The defense is scrappy, but I just don't think they're going to win a playoff game this year. They're going to make the playoffs, of course. But the Texans, CJ Stroud, 275 and 2 touchdowns, Super Bowl guaranteed.
Yeah, it's similar to the Seattle thing. To your point, the first 4 throws, they were Tom Brady-esque, and it looks like this is going to be an absolute blowout. But then he has the 2 interceptions, and those aren't as big of a concern where it's like, Darnold's going to have those, and we were kind of making that comparison earlier. But if Stroud just doesn't turn the football over, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like if they're that good defensively, they're figuring out how to run the football. I mean, they've got this Jalen Noel all of a sudden making plays. Like they've got guys coming out of nowhere making plays. Like their offense is, I think, getting close to where you want it to be heading into the playoffs, considering where it was earlier in the season. Like they're in a good spot offensively right now. It's just Stroud, don't turn the football over. And this might be ours to win with how wide open the AFC is right now. I love what Houston's doing. This was a great weekend for them because you get a Buffalo loss that I think not a lot of people expected with everything considered. I mean, they were a slight favorite at home. People expect them to win that game, and that would put Houston as the 6th seed if Buffalo would have won with everything considered. Now here you are, Houston gets the 5 seed. That's the most desirable draw without a doubt. You're going to go on the road and you're going to beat Pittsburgh by 3 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers might have 5 picks. Lamar Jackson, I don't even know if he's going to be good enough to play in the wild card round. It doesn't sound like he's going to play on Sunday Night Football, which is crazy that the Ravens are still even favored, by the way. I don't know how they are, but I guess it's probably just because they saw how rat-a-tat-a-tooey Seattle's offense was. But I mean, this is a great outcome for Houston. And this is now I believe the tied for the longest stretch in franchise history for making the postseason 3 years in a row, or maybe it is a record. But Griff, if Stroud wins a playoff game this year, conversations need to be had. I mean, he's in his junior year, and all he's been doing is winning. And I understand the defense has stepped it up this year for them, but the first 2 years the defense wasn't this good, and it was Stroud winning football games. But Christmas Day was horrible. It was just not a good day of football. The Broncos win another one by 1 score. It's the monster underneath my bed. Is this team going to keep it close against a team that they should beat? Are they going to keep it close against a Josh Allen, and then Josh Allen makes more plays at the end than Bo Nix does? Like, that's what concerns me about this Denver team, Griff. And for Chris Aludicun to have a chance at the end there, like, this was not just it was a 1-score game and Kansas City made it a 1-score game at the end. No, they had a chance to tie it at the end. Like, Aludicun was driving those boys down the field. They had a shot.
Listen, the Broncos, they're the cardiac Broncos as well. A lot of teams are cardiac. Seattle Seahawks have cardiac arrest. The Broncos fans, they have cardiac arrest. They're winning these games. Don't get me wrong. The Broncos fans might jump in here and be like, well, we're still winning. I know you're still winning, but you should have beat the piss out of the Chiefs. The same way the Patriots beat the dog crap out of the Jets, you should have beat the dog crap out of the Chiefs, because the Chiefs the week before, Caden, they got smoked by the Titans by 3+ touchdowns? No, the Denver Broncos, you took this game off and it almost cost you. It didn't, because you got the win, but you played sloppy and you don't know how to decimate a team. Now, don't get me wrong, you're still winning, but you should have beat that team realistically, Caden. The Broncos should have won that game 28-10.
I'm in agreement. Yep. I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I'm sorry, with Chris Aludicun, and nothing against him, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but Griff, a 3rd-string quarterback with no Rashee Rice. I mean, there's no chance in heck that this team should have had a shot to win this. Like, Denver should, to your point,
team.
Yeah, I mean, they're not playing for anything. They just lost to Tennessee. What are we doing? They should have won this game 35-3. Like, this should not have been a good football game. Maybe it was like, hey, we need one good game for Christmas. Like, we need one Santa's miracle for Travis Kelce, and we'll show T Swizzy a few times on the screen. But I don't know, Griff. It's a little bit alarming, I won't lie, to still be playing like this. They now tied the 2022 Minnesota Vikings and last year's Kansas City Chiefs with the most 1-score wins in the history of the NFL. They've got one more week to do it again. Maybe Trey Lance will force them to have one more 1-score win, and we'll get into that obviously in the next episode. Like it, Vikings and Lions, I almost just combined the two like a Liger. Shout out Napoleon Dynamite. And speaking of, you got to give me some props for that one. I know I'm really bad with the movies and stuff. Napoleon,
that was a good poll.
Thank you, Liger. Shout out. Lions and Vikings. I mean, what are we doing here? What the Lions had the door open for them with Green Bay losing. This door would still be open for them, and they'd have a shot. And now here we are. The Lions, after winning 15 games last year, they're eliminated. Griff. Max Brosmer does it.
Cooked.
They're cooked.
Yeah, they're cooked. 3rd-string quarterback cooks you up. I don't care if it was in Minnesota. Jared Goofball Goff, what are we doing? You had Vikings money line. These throws that you're making. Now, don't get me wrong. The offensive line has been very poor. It's been very patchy these past couple of weeks with injuries. But, I mean, Goofball Goff, buns, hot cross kind. He was terrible in that game. Now, the defense, honestly, I thought the defense did enough to win the game. I mean, don't get me wrong. They let up that Addison long run at the end, but I mean, that was even like, okay. I mean, we just tried to fit a blitz in, and it just didn't work. No, Jared Goff with the season on the line, playing a 3rd-string quarterback in the Minnesota Vikings, disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Lions fans, this might have been oh my gosh, Jared Goofball, he was bad.
And this is what I'm comparing Bryce Young to here. Max Brosmer had 51 passing yards, and the Vikings somehow won this game. They're winning games with their quarterback throwing 50 yards. Why can't the Panthers win games with the quarterback throwing 50 yards? But man, similar to the Baker point I brought up. I mean, are we at the ceiling here? Like, is the Super Bowl window passed for the Lions? Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to continue to believe in it, because it's like they're only going to get more expensive. Gibbs is going to get paid. Amon-Ra got paid. Goff got paid. Sewell got paid. Hutchinson got paid. Like, where do you go from here? The defense is still hot cross buns, to your points. I mean, Griff, I feel like the Super Bowl window might be closed, man.
Closed. It's shut. Their Super Bowl window, it's over. It is absolutely over for the Detroit Lions. The best chance they had was 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers, up by 14 in that game. That was your best shot. Last year was your best shot. 15 and 3, 16 and 2, whatever the hell the record was.
15 and 2, yeah.
Yeah, 15 and 2, whatever it was. At home, losing to Washington and a rookie quarterback. That was bozo activity. The Lions, that's not me saying the Lions are going to go back to the old Lions where they've never won a game, but everyone else is getting better, and Jared Goff has hit his ceiling. He will not be as good as he is right now. He's not gonna explode through his ceiling. You know what I mean? Like these other young quarterbacks in the NFC. The Lions, I'm sorry, your Super Bowl window is closed.
Yep. Well put. I mean, you'll lose a 17-point comeback in the NFC Championship. You win 15 games and lose to a rookie quarterback. And now here you are. You're not even going to make the playoffs. You're not even going to make the playoffs. That is a tough look with the amount of talent they have. I understand, to your point, the O-line's kind of been inconsistent, but still, you've got to be able to, like, you've got a lot of quarterbacks that don't have necessarily the best offensive line, and they're still making it work. And with that amount of talent, you got to make it work. Cowboys, Commanders, another just Tinkerbell game. Maybe if you have any fantasy implications, I had CeeDee Lamb and poop the bed. Didn't everybody else got in on the action? Kevontae Turpin's catching 90-yard touchdowns, but CeeDee Lamb can't get one. Anything noteworthy here?
Absolutely not. I mean, the Cowboys, they won a meaningless game. Washington, they lost a meaningless game. I have literally nothing to say because, I mean, we could talk about Diggs getting released. He just got released today. Weirdness, you know what I mean? The corner for the Cowboys, he just got released. So Patriots are probably going to sign that fool, and both Diggs brothers are going to be on there. Now, Stephon,
that would be a nightmare.
That stuff coming out too.
That would be a nightmare
with the allegations. But I mean, it's I don't know. The Cowboys, poop season. They beat a bad team on Christmas.
I didn't even think about that. If the Patriots signed Trayvon, oh my gosh, that'd be a nightmare. There's got to be something more at that too. Why do you cut a player on the last week of the season? Like I feel like I can't really remember that. I feel like I can't remember that in the past, but I don't know. That's the Cowboys for you. That's the Cowboys. They get a worse draft pick. The Commanders get a better draft pick. Griff, that'll do week 17. I'm almost like sad right now because we only have 1 week left in the NFL regular season. It's gone by way too freaking fast. This is the last week of 2025. And Griff, I hope you have an amazing 2026. We're going to blow it out of the box in 2026. The Dual Threat Podcast, this is just the beginning. I can't wait to see what 2026 has for us. But any parting words for us, man? I can't believe it's over.
Listen, Kane, 2026, 2025, it's history. Tomorrow is a mystery, and tomorrow's 2026, or whenever you're watching this, could be 2026. Have a great New Year, viewer. Have a great New Year. We appreciate you guys. Give this video a like, give it a comment, share, subscribe. But we appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for our Week 18 picks.
Yes, sir. And we will be back on Thursday on New Year's Day with everything Week 18, and we'll be here for the rest of the postseason. See you guys.